Hi, I'm Chef Rhea, and this is How to Cook Like a Bajan. In our third season, we've been celebrating. We've been celebrating Independence, Republic Day, Christmas, New Year's, and now we've done too much. Yes, we have, and we're making New Year's resolutions. And we resolved to eat well in appropriately sized portions, nutritious and healthy food. Yes, it sounds good. I think we should write that up. Hashtag New Year's resolutions. Hashtag How to Cook Like a Bajan. Let's do that. So for our first dish today, we're gonna do a simple shrimp curry with brown rice. So lots of healthy vegetables. You already see that I've started to blanch off my pumpkin. Got some organic pumpkin here. Lots of vegetables. Shrimp is an extremely lean, nutritious meat, of course. Only like 120, less than 200 calories in the appropriate size portion of shrimp. So we definitely want to encourage you to think about your portion sizes. We cannot emphasize enough how even something that is very healthy for you becomes unhealthy when your portion size is double or triple what it ought to be. Bad carbs, excess carbs are bad regardless of what form they come in. So it could be cookies, but it could be pasta, it could be rice. But if you use a triple portion, then you do overwork your system. You are asking your pancreas to produce a lot of insulin, etc., etc. So now that we're contemplating being good or better than we were before, portion sizes are very important. So first up, a shrimp curry. And actually, we're going to be, I don't want to say experimenting, we're going to be embracing, what word should I use there? We're going to try some Beyond Meat product, because we're also going to do a vegetarian version of lasagna, and we're going to do a vegan version of lasagna. And we thought that that would be very interesting product to try. My friend who is vegan has told me that when you're transitioning from eating meat to vegetables or to a vegan lifestyle or vegetarian lifestyle, that products that imitate meat help to make that transition easier. So we're gonna see how true that is by actually making ourselves a lovely lasagna, but we're gonna be using our plant-based beef products by Beyond Meat. So we're very excited to try that later in the day. And I have always found that the more vegetables I eat, the better for me. All that fiber, all that roughage, all those nutrients. And I actually like vegetables. I like how they taste. I think that people don't realize that so much of what we like in a dish is vegetables or plant-based. Yeah, we like meat, but coleslaw and all the things that are our favorite things are made of vegetables. So why wouldn't we try any kind of vegetable dish that came along? We love our side dishes. We're gonna do this shrimp curry. Then we're gonna do a vegetarian lasagna using our sheets of Roma pasta. And then we're gonna do a vegan lasagna. It's gonna be very interesting. I'm already excited. So we already have vegetables ready for our shrimp. So I'm going to do two things. One, I'm gonna get a little oil in here and start getting this pan hot. A little more oil. And I'm not doing a spicy curry today. And a curry actually just means a spicy sauce that is eaten with rice. It comes from a Tamil word, which is an Indian word, K-A-R-I, which is very similar to curry. And as we know, various curries that we enjoy in the Caribbean hail from the Indian subcontinent. So that's very cool. And your curry could be anything. It's not defined as just yellow or green or red. But when you make the spices into a sauce and the intention is to eat them with a simple rice dish, then that is technically a curry. Now my curry is going to be very herbaceous and it's going to have a lot of spices, but it's not going to be spicy, so there's no pepper in it. Just because we're moving into New Year and we're going to try something just a teeny little bit different, right? Good. Now, one other change that we're going to experience because we're being good and not bad. So I'm gonna go with some brown rice with my curry this time. Brown rice, people always find it a bit tricky to cook, but it isn't really. So for white rice, you go with like 1.5 times the amount of water. With brown rice, you go with twice the amount of water. So 1 cup to 2 cups. Fairly simple. I'm gonna put a little salt. It's not gonna need anything much because you know full well that I'm gonna be eating this with curry. So that can just go on there. So I already did the vegetables in here. Now, since I'm blanching off vegetables, I'm also gonna use this water later to do our pasta sheets. And having blanched the vegetables in here, it's gonna actually impart some flavor to the water. And flavor is something that we never turn down, so it's perfectly fine. We're gonna use the water more than once. And this is good. This is something that you want to encourage. In fact, sometimes by the end of it, it almost resembles a veg stock and can be used to cook something else later down the week. So we already have our vegetables, so I can turn that off for now. So medium heat. I want it hot, but I don't want to burn my spices. So first I'm gonna go in with my onion. All right, I like to put the onion in the pan first all the time because if you put in the garlic first, you're gonna regret it. But at least that's what I think. So medium heat. I also like to put my spices in with my garlic and onion. So in with my curry powder. Then I'm gonna get some turmeric. Nice pretty color, very good for you. Then I'm going to grab some cardamom. And then I'm going to grab some cumin. All right, oops, just a little bit. I like very interesting taste of cardamom in my curry. Something that was introduced to me by another chef, and I thought, that's not what I normally eat in curry, but has such a very interesting flavor. It's very different to all the other spices. So I'm just gonna move that around a little bit. It's a little dry, so I'm gonna give it a little more oil. There, that's good. We're using a nice sunflower oil as well. Keeping the heat low, I just want my spices to be lightly toasted. This is not a curry that's gonna sit and cook, simply because you're going with a shrimp curry, and shrimp cooks like in an instant. So it's gonna be a bit of a milder curry, yeah? Even though the flavors are complex, it's gonna be a milder curry. We're not gonna be reducing this all day. Keep moving the spices around so that the kitchen is filled with that smell, the aroma. Because I just want that the flavor comes forward from the spices, but I don't want them to burn, or they will be bitter, and then I will be sorry, right? Okay, so again, a nice toast on my spices. You can see the colors starting to emerge when you put it on my white spatula. My onions are nice, my garlic is nice. Again, lovely aromas here. So everything is in. I'm just gonna put in a little water to start my sauce. Or you can go with stock. I don't have any fish stock on hand, but you could do a vegetarian stock. Or you could just use plain water, it's fine. So I'm gonna just let this start to boil. And while that is happening, I'm just gonna grab me some Roma. Put this back over here. Get this open. Right? Vegetarians, unlike vegans, have like various designations. So sometimes you get pescatarians, then sometimes you get vegetarians who will eat cheese. They will still eat eggs and 1 or 2 other things. Then there's some people who are very strict. There's a wide variety, but vegans are very, very firm in that they don't eat any animal products or byproducts, like including honey, anything produced by animal. These are regular pasta sheets, and I'm using these for the vegetarian version of my pasta. because I find generally with my vegan customers that they actually don't like gluten either. So for theirs, I'm going to do gluten-free, but for the vegetarian one, I'm going to use gluten as I usually would. So our vegetarian version is going to be slightly different, more traditional, but we're going to be using our wonderful Beyond meat to make it look more like a regular lasagna. Remember what I said about overcooking your pasta. Do not do it. Whenever you're cooking pasta, please use a timer, use your phone. I'm just going to get these sheets in our pasta pot. I like to space them out, make them overlapping so they don't stick together. Okay, so give those a second.
Keep you and your family safe with Sol Gas. Here are some helpful tips to keep you and your family safe when cooking with Sol Gas. Never tamper with the cylinder and only use the Sol-approved regulator and a hose designed for use with LPG. Securely connect the regulator to the cylinder valve until it clicks into place and is properly fastened and secured. It is important to check the hose clips and the rubber hose to ensure they're in good working condition and properly secured. It is important to check your hose and regulator and change them as needed. Change your rubber hose every 2 years. Change your regulator every 5 years. If there are signs of damage to your regulator, contact an approved Sol Gas distributor or a Sol service station for replacement immediately. Safety first with Sol Gas.
Alright, so we're just gonna grab some shada bini here. It's a very interesting herb. It is native to this part of the world. You know, I like to know where stuff comes from. And it is known also as fitweed because it is effective in treating epilepsy, but we also use it to treat various other illnesses here in the Caribbean, from diarrhea to asthma. It has very many interesting medicinal properties. It has anti-inflammatory properties, so this has actually been studied by the University of the West Indies, etc. Yeah, so I'm just gonna grab my shrimp, get it in my sauce. Enough shrimp to share, but not enough to make a giant portion. So that's gonna be 2. I'm keeping the sauce is nice and thick, just how I like it. I'm just gonna let the shrimp cook in there, but I have it on a very low heat because I don't want my shrimp meat to toughen up at all. Let's turn it over. It's gonna quick cook in a second. Get some vegetables in there, nice bright carrots, broccoli, and I have a little bit too much pumpkin, but we're gonna put some pumpkin in there. So, half cup of vegetables for everybody, a portion of shrimp. So this can feed 2 people. Get the vegetables coated with the sauce. But right now, I'm gonna add our homemade coconut milk. So you can see grated bits of coconut because we had some dry coconut from making sweet bread. And we decided to make our coconut milk. So you grate and you grate and you grate and you grate and you add water and you run it, and this is what we have left. So, and I did leave some coconut bits in there. So I'm gonna just add this. And coconut milk, of course, is a very healthy fat. And since we made it at home, we feel very special. And we're just gonna let this sit. I believe our rice is ready. I'm gonna quickly show you a portion of rice. So here I have my portion control ramekin. There's one way to do it. And my rice is done, so I'm turn that off. Oops. Nice steamy brown rice. This way you only get as much as you're supposed to get, and not even a teeny tiny bit more. So I'm gonna turn that out onto my plate. I know, it doesn't look like much, but that's a portion, that's really all you need. Now all I need now is for this to reduce slightly with our lovely homemade coconut milk. And then I'm gonna get my pasta sheets out and we're gonna start with some lasagnas. Our curry's tasting good. We're just gonna put in our shadow bini now to finish it. Obviously, after the shrimp goes into the curry sauce, your dish is almost done. You're not going to cook for much longer or you'll overcook your shrimp. The shadow bini has a very powerful taste, so do not, sprinkle, but do not go overboard with that. And the smell as soon as it hits your pot. So now we're gonna go for our portion of shrimp. So let's put those on. 4. Yeah, I'm counting them because we've made a New Year's resolution. So we're only gonna have 3-4 ounces of shrimp is all we're having. Lots of yummy vegetables, fresh and organic, delivered straight to our studio or our kitchen, as you were. Sauce, again, about 4 ounces of sauce, maybe even a little less than that. But you can always have more broccoli now. And that's it. That's your portion of shrimp curry. You're gonna have to share with a friend. And as usual, the best part is tasting. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm going to grab some That is juicy and delicious. I was saying I was gonna grab some pasta sheets, some lasagna sheets, but I may actually grab some lunch. I was so curious about what's the difference between vegan and vegetarian. I'm actually here on my phone pulling it up because I'm curious, and apparently it started it's an extreme form of vegetarianism, veganism that is, and it was a term coined in 1944. But, and this I already knew, that belief that you should avoid animal products actually dates back once again to the Indian subcontinent with something called Jainism, which actually I read about when I was in school. So they would not even offend an insect in the road, and they would actually wear something over their face so that they wouldn't accidentally breathe in like an insect or harm any other form of sentient or semi-sentient life. So that's an interesting factoid. So I didn't realize that there was a link between those two, but now I know that Jainism, veganism, is linked to ancient Jain practices. So that's interesting. So we're gonna make now our vegan, okay, safety tip, use the tip of your large knife when you're doing a small job. Do not just use the whole knife. That was very naughty, I apologize. We are making a simple tomato sauce first. So it's just gonna have a little garlic, very quickly. It's actually got maybe 3 ingredients in it because the sauce is very, very simple. I'm gonna grab my olive oil as opposed to my sunflower oil and keep consistent. So that goes in there. It's a nice Waitrose product. Temperature is very low because I don't want to burn my garlic under any circumstances. Now, you might say to me, but Rhea, lasagna has a lot of cheese in it, and we know that cheese is an animal byproduct. What are you doing? Well, I went to Massy in my hunt for Massy points, as usual, and I came across this interesting line of products. So we have here a cheese based on almond, and they have the mozzarella, and they have the cheddar cheese style version of it. They also have it in this brand, right? And we also have the spread from Waitrose, and all of these are going to be used to create my vegan. So they're going to replicate the white sauce and the cheese that you find in a normal lasagna. So there's two sauces, there's white sauce, there's red sauce. So there's a tomato base and a cream based sauce. But we're going to use the tomato based sauce, but we're not going to use the cream based sauce because cream comes from milk, right? So we are going to use this combination of items here to make our vegan lasagna. So we have some nice canned tomatoes straight in. So it's kind of a passata style tomato sauce where there's not a lot of ingredients. You're keeping it really simple. Get that on, get it a little reduced. Pull, easy to open. Nice on the pocket. So just a little garlic, olive oil, tomatoes. We're gonna reduce that down. I did some meal prep, so I'm just gonna grab those. I've got mushrooms, I've got organic eggplant, also some organic pumpkin I picked up. And I already have my zucchini, broccoli, and organic finger squash out. So I'm just gonna build like just layers and layers of vegetable goodness. I think I'm gonna start on the bottom with some eggplant. And I did put a little salt in the water and soak these slices so that you can get that bitter taste out of your eggplant, you know, that brown liquid. So I wanted that out, so I pre-soaked them. You may find that it's better to maybe start the day before so that you know that you're gonna get finished. So I'm going in with the first layer of vegetables. So it's, instead of sheets of pasta, essentially, we're just gonna do sheets of vegetables all the way up. All right. Tomato sauce is going, and it is. Now let me get my grater. Here it is. So that's my first layer. Just gonna move that out of the way. Let's talk about these cheeses. So this one is a cheddar style cheese. It looks and feels like cheddar. This one is made from coconut. I'm gonna taste it because I'm curious. So oddly enough, it tastes like cheddar. I mean, I kind of expected it, but then I kind of didn't. So I'm gonna get some grated cheddar in here. Well, vegan style cheddar by, I believe it's called Violife. So this is the first layer of excitement. Then this one is made with almonds, but it's a mozzarella. So it actually has a different texture, just like real mozzarella. It's kind of spongy. So I'm guessing that it goes gooey in the same way. So you're gonna go in with this. So I'm gonna grate this one as well. I'm very excited about how this whole situation is gonna turn out, to be very honest. I just imagine that it takes a lot of ingenuity to come up with a product that has the same flavor but is not the same thing. So a little salt, a little pepper. So we're going in with our coconut spread. Oh, I have some in the fridge. Yes. Going in with our coconut spread. This I've been fiddling with because I'm curious. So it's kind of like ricotta. Basically, it's replacing ricotta in the recipe. So I'm just gonna spread it out a little bit across. So that's my first layer. Gonna go here. Put some on. And then I'm gonna go with both my cheeses and go over the top, and then I'm going to go up and up and up for each layer. So that's the first layer. Then we're gonna get a little cheddar from Violife. And then we're gonna get, this one is called, what's this one called? This is the almond one. This is called Lasagnatis. Lasagnatis. Italian sounding. Maybe it makes the cheese taste even cheesier. Right, so that's the second layer. So this is kind of replicating the white sauce. Tomato sauce is going well, and I'm just gonna pop a little bit of our tomato puree in here. So you want it to come together and not be runny. So you pop some Waitrose tomato puree in there. No preservatives, that's what we like to hear. And it also, of course, improves the flavor. So it intensifies that tomato flavor. So we literally have 4 ingredients in this pot, and that is all you need, because this is going to be part of a very complex dish, and so you don't need 10 million flavors distracting you from your lasagna magic, right? So that's okay. So gotten a nice thick consistency on my tomato sauce, as you can see, right? And it's gonna keep cooking in here, so I don't need to bring it all the way down. When I make pizza dough, then I'm gonna need to bring it all the way down. So let's go in with this. So now we've got the white sauce on, and now we're putting red sauce on. So it's a lasagna, it's a party, right? It's good. It's another good layer. I'm gonna put some broccoli, mushrooms, that's a good layer. Gonna put some mushrooms in. Yeah, it's a good layer to get in the middle there, because it's a layer that might not hold as well as you might like. So let's get all the mushrooms in here. And again, one more time, we go on top with our, let's see. So it's a spreadable, so it's made with coconuts. So it's like very much like ricotta or any other soft, fresh cheese, basically. I'm gonna just put some dots of it. It's gonna replicate, I guess, cream or soft cheese in our recipe. A little more cheddar again. Some Massy. We're just gonna keep building layers until we have the full lasagna. And then we're gonna pop that in the oven, and then we're gonna try, I'm excited for the Beyond Meat experience. So we're gonna try our Beyond Meat. Let me peek and tell you what it is. Beyond Meat beef, plant-based ground. So, and there's no soy or gluten or anything in it. So we're definitely excited to try that. So maybe now we're gonna go with zucchini. And this is gonna take me a while, so I'm gonna build this. When you come back, I'm gonna be ready to do the vegetarian one and pop them both in the oven.
Come home to the place you love. The sights, the sounds, the feelings. Come home to the taste you love. So bring home the flavor. Bring home the ham with Farmer's Choice. Bring home the flavor. Bring home the ham with Farmer's Choice.
So it's time for us to meet our Beyond Meat products. So I'm going to use the Beyond Beef. It looks like beef, doesn't it? So these have no GMOs in them, no hormones, no antibiotics, and they're plant-based. And a plant-based diet is really healthy for anyone, even if you don't choose to be a vegan or a vegetarian. Sometimes if you look at your diet and maybe do 2 vegetarian or 1 vegetarian dishes per day, it's an improvement from perhaps eating meat 3 times a day, or maybe just eating something starchy for breakfast and then nothing else. So now that we're into the new year and we're trying our best to be our best, we're gonna give this a try. We're gonna try something new and exciting. So let's get our frying pan out, because you're so apparently tomato sauce is good and done. Apparently, you're supposed to treat it exactly as one would normal ground beef. So let's get the pan hot. Let's get a little oil in there. We're so healthy. We feel so good about ourselves. I'm so excited to see how this lasagna turns out. So this lasagna is going to be heavy on plant-based meat and cheeses because this is a vegetarian lasagna. And the vegan lasagna was heavy on vegetables, and then we tried our coconut and almond-based cheeses. Now for the vegetarians who don't eat meat but would eat meat byproducts, this is the second lasagna that we're going to put together. And so we have our pasta sheets, our regular pasta sheets, and we have our regular cheese, but we're going in with our exciting new product. So I'm going to carefully cut all the way around so that I can lift it out. Gonna grab a spatula. So I've got my garlic, my salt and pepper. Let's cook up this Beyond Meat. Maybe I'll find something to throw it on. Oh, so we're gonna be using this lovely pan to build our lasagna in. A little garlic. Flavor our oil. And all of our Beyond Meat in the pan. So they said on the packet to crumble this up. So we got this from Bread & Stokes. Yeah, so they distribute that in Barbados. So they said to crumble it up to the texture that we want. So we want like a bolognese texture. You might have noticed, for example, that I just did meat on my green board because it's plant-based, right? So there's no cross-contamination there, just for those who are watching. Right? I mean, it's cooking the same way that ground beef would. Getting the same texture emerging, right? The color is changing a little bit, right? It's actually picking up a sear. So you're getting a little golden brown on the meat. Starting to smell delicious already. So this is interesting. I don't want this to cook too much because this still has to go in the lasagna. So I'm just going to very quickly add my sauce now. Kind of bolognese red sauce for my lasagna. I also used it over in, yeah, that looks like enough, in my vegan lasagna, but all my cheeses were vegan for that one, and I'm just using regular cheese for this one because I found all these exciting cheeses up in Massy when I was collecting Massy Point. I mean shopping. When I was shopping. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm impressed. We can get to tasting yet, but it looks exactly the same, so I am already excited. I love new products. I love them, I love them, I love them. Okay, I'll give it a minute. Let it cool just a little bit. Let's start making sheets. So we did our Roma Pastas sheets. I'm gonna cut them to the length of our pan. And then we're gonna get into the cheeses. So I'm just gonna mark the length so I get a perfect. I'm not gonna throw these away. I'm gonna use them for something else, but I just want perfect cut sheets. Just use the scissors. Why are you gonna make life hard and have to put them on your cutting board when I have this handy dandy scissors and my knife block? It's all the rest of KitchenAid gadgets that I'm so fond of. So I'm gonna cut that, nice and simple. This can be used later. Actually, just a quick note. You can take lasagna sheets like this, you can pipe some cheese, you can maybe put some meat, the same thing. You could put cheese, you can put whatever in the middle and make kind of a cannelloni. So then you'll have a stuffed pasta and it's like that. And then you can put it in your tray, put the little sauce over and bake it. And it's an interesting way to use up your excess lasagna sheets. So just a little note. So I think 4 is enough to start me off. Let's check that that's true. Yes, 4 is good. 4 gives me good coverage in the bottom of my pan. Excitement. It's time for a taste, and then we're gonna start building our lasagna. So let's give it a little yummy, 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 yummy. My lasagna is gonna be spectacular. That's what I gotta tell you. Spectacular. Let's get in there. You do not know, other than slight difference in texture, slight, that you're not eating beef. You do not know, and I would not tell you. In fact, this is what I suggest. I suggest that you make this and serve it and don't tell anybody what's in it. And then you would know if it is true or not that it tastes so similar to beef, right? So let's talk a little bit about these cheeses that I have found in the supermarket. So I have both Waitrose Essential brand cheeses here. I've got a natural cottage cheese. I'm going to be using this in place of like ricotta in a normal lasagna. I've got, well, it's going to be 4 cheese lasagna because I'm not happy if I have less than 3 cheeses and whatever. So though, I've also got their Parmesan, which is an essential product, and their mozzarella, which is in this cute, it's fresh mozzarella, so it's this cute little bobble suspended in basically water to keep it fresh. So this is the product we're working with, and it's stringy and pulley and delicious, and we know that lasagna doesn't taste right without mozzarella. And then I have some mature cheddar from their organic line. So we're getting to see both sides of Waitrose, and I'm very excited for how this is going to turn out because it's healthy. Like, what more could you want for the new year? All right, so I'm going to quickly grate some of this. So I have my cheddar. Yes. Quick and easy. So get any comments, give us your New Year's resolutions other than to eat well and to cook at home and try these new recipes. And just tell us what you're doing for the new year. Like, what are you changing? What are you doing new? What's the new you going to be like? What should we look out for? Tag us. Let us know, because we're curious. I'm also going to grate this Parmesan. Excited about using this as well. Continue to check us out on the nation's various platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, on the Nation website itself. So I have 2 piles of cheese. This is starting to be fairly awesome, right? And then I'm just gonna slice my mozzarella. Nice and thin, so I have enough to go up a few layers. Nothing like that fresh mozzarella. And now I have my cottage cheese. So instead of making a white sauce, once again, I have decided to use a pre-done product and not make a bechamel, because they have products in the supermarket, and that is the kind of thing that I get up to when nobody is monitoring me. So let's get these little curds and whey and whatnot. So I put a little bit of each. So I'm going to put 4 cheeses in a layer because yummy. Obviously the portion size on this is going to be pequeño, eh? Yeah. A little bit of that. Little cheddar. Fresh and organic. Yes. Fresh mozzie in a layer all the way across. Good. And then just a little Parmesan. Alright, so we're topping our lasagna now. So we have basically done all that we can do here with this spectacular vegetarian lasagna, because we've put all the cheese that we could find and all the goodness. So this should take you 2, 3, 4 weeks to eat. A little breadcrumbs on top, and it's ready for the oven, where it will join its friend. Several layers of goodness. Want a good crunchy top. Ooh, all right, a little too much there. And we are ready. I feel overcome with virtue, yeah? Here we have our vegan lasagna with our almond vegan cheese and our coconut vegan cheese and our coconut spread that we all picked up at Massy Stores when we were shopping. Looks wonderful. Seems as though our white sauce, red sauce substitutions work, so look at that. Look at it. Look. Yeah, I know, right? Looks delicious, smells delicious. We're gonna give it a little taste, and then we're gonna cut into the exciting Beyond Meat situation that we created. So it tastes like lasagna, right? It's got a slight hint of coconut to it. I am picking that up. So our coconut sauce spread is slightly more, a little bit more like butter than like a fresh cheese. So I think we used it maybe not correctly, but it worked is what I'm saying. Okay. See, we can go into the new year with positive vibes. Things are gonna happen for us. We're gonna be doing our yoga on mornings. And then I just imagine just a lot of random stuff that is pretty awesome, because our New Year's resolutions. Ooh, sucky no. Look what we have here. Yes. So we tried our Beyond Beef ground meat, plant-based ground meat. And we went with the cottage cheese instead of a ricotta or making a bechamel, so we didn't do a classic white sauce at all. We just went for layers and layers, and up we went. And now it's time to taste. This is what to do. Don't take my word for it. Yeah? Make the lasagna and don't tell nobody what in it. See if they pick it up or if they say anything about it. Don't give them a clue, don't smirk, nothing, straight face. And then tag us, take a video, take a picture, say hi to us on How to Cook Like a Bajan. I look forward to seeing you next week. I'm Chef Rhea, and this has been How to Cook Like a Bajan.